Oh, which is doing to Lee and Jamie. They're like, can you imagine if they're waxers? We've decided we're going to make them out of plasticine for them, just to start with. We were treated to some incredible performances on Saturday night. But while the acts certainly made it look very easy, one woman knows just how hard they worked. That woman is vocal coach extraordinaire, Yvie Burnett.
As a vocal coach and singing teacher, I train every type of singer, but I'm all about the technique. When a singer realises their potential and they can do things that even they didn't know they could do, that's a really special moment for me.
Welcome, Yvie, to the show! Hello, gorgeous lady. So you've been a singer a long time, singer yourself. You're an opera singer, and you've been a vocal coach to the stars for a long time. How do you and Ali Tennant, who we're going to meet tomorrow, how do you support the work of the coaches, Will and Tom and Kylie and Ricky on the show?
Well, they have a sort of vision for what they want from the singers musically, and then we sort of just back it up with technical support. So anything they want them to do, we make sure that they can actually achieve that. So we work really closely with them. Obviously, I've worked with Tom and Will now for 3 years, so it's a bit of a shorthand really with them. But Kylie and Ricky are so lovely, and it's a real sort of team thing going on, and we all work together just to get the best out of them. We absolutely can.
Loving the energy. Let's have a look at the performances from Saturday. We're going to start with Christina Marie from Ricky's team. She closed the show with a very powerful take on the Foo Fighters. Let's remind ourselves.
When I sing along with
Oh, I just makes me want to fling my arms into the air. If you're not aware of it, this is the original Foo Fighters song, OK? Dave Grohl and the gang. I was very impressed. My mother knew that song on Saturday night. Such a little lass is Christina Marie, and such a huge voice. How does that work?
Well, you're sort of born with it, you know, if you've got a voice like that. But it's all to do with the shape of your mouth, where your cheekbones are. You know, you're either lucky that you've got that God-given talent or not. And she has that. But also, her idol is Mariah. And she's exercised to Mariah, singing along with Mariah all her life. So she's sort of exercised her own voice. And now that we're here, we're sort of doing lots of technique, lots of control, learning the things that self-taught singers don't actually teach themselves, learning to be consistent. Because sometimes when you're self-taught, it comes out some days and other days it doesn't. So, you know, we're really working on that.
OK, incredible performance from her. Let's go to Team Tom. We're going to go and have a look at Sally. Here's a reminder of her beautiful performance from Saturday.
You don't know what it's like. Baby, you don't know what it's like to love.
The judges were all standing up, tears from Tom. What is it about Sally's voice that just connects with the audience and makes us all so emotional?
I think, you know, when you read on Twitter and everything, everyone seems to be touched by Sally, and it's sort of probably life experience. You know, we know she's been through a lot, ups and downs in her life, good times, bad times, and I think that she portrays that in her singing. It just sort of comes out. I always say to her, she's a bit like an Oscar-winning actress. She's like a method actress. She can, when you watch a film and you don't know someone's acting and you get to the end of the film, you suddenly think, oh, my goodness, of course they were acting. That's a bit like Sally. You really think that she's that character in this song every time.
She's our very own Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
Also, she's not been too well. She's had sinusitis. How have you managed to work through that and get that performance out of her?
Well, that's been difficult because, you know, when you've got something like that, there's a load of gunge and it's not easy to get rid of. And when you're a singer, you just don't want that because you're going to crack notes and everything. So we've been doing a lot of humming and hooting kind of exercises and working on nasal things. She inhales. You put a towel over your head and inhale and it clears it. So if anyone's got sinusitis at home, that's the way to do it.
I know. Dr. Yvie. Tips from Dr. Yvie. Let's look at Busy from Team Tom. Here he was on Saturday night.
And if you really love me, won't you tell me? Hey! And I won't have to be playing around.
He was. You've worked with Stevie Wonder. That was very clever what he did there. We want to concentrate on one particular moment. If we look here, this is where he changed tempo. So I've been told this is quite a tricky thing to do. Yvie, tell me why.
Well, because really you've got your audience all up on their feet dancing with energy, and then suddenly you've turned the song into a ballad. And you've got to kind of keep that intensity. You don't have them sort of going, what's happening now? You want to keep them with you. And that's quite tricky, but also it's very clever. Special Stevie moment, really.
Come on, have you worked with Stevie as well? So she's worked with Stevie Wonder. She has. Finally, we have Lee for Team Kylie and his very passionate performance from Saturday. Sing it, baby. Kylie says he's got one of the most unique voices on the show. What is it about his vocals that make him so different?
He's got that sound. It's a sort of fast vibrato that's going on, and it's really distinctive. And you know, when you listen to the radio and you recognise the singer on the radio, they're all big superstars that you recognise. Well, Lee's like that. You know, if we heard Lee, we would know it was Lee, and that's such a talent to have. And also, he changes the songs.
Yeah.
You know, he does his own little twist. It's a sort of dark, kind of melancholy thing going on. And he does a little Lee footprint to each song that we can kind of recognise now. He does little upward bits, little twists. And we're beginning just to see his style within all the songs he does.
Okay.
So he's a clever guy, is our Lee.
And he's a very clever boy. And let's have a listen to the original of that song, which is his grandma's favourite song, Chris Christopherson. And you can see how he's changed the style of it. I know, a bit of country and western, and he's turned that into that dramatic ballad. Very clever indeed. You must get quite close to all the acts, working with them. So how hard is it to say goodbye to them?
It is hard, because to do my job, I've got to get really close to them. They've got to totally trust me, because to sing badly in the room with me and to sing well in the room with me is really important. And so I'm the person they kind of turn to, and then suddenly we're saying goodbye. But we don't really say goodbye. We stay in touch. I've been speaking already to the guys who've left this week.
Yeah.
We've been on the texts, you know, so it's never really goodbye. I'm still there for them, and, you know, they've enjoyed their time.
How are they going to dazzle in the semi-finals? It's going to be a big show on Saturday night.
Well, there'll be more high notes,
Yeah.
more riffs, more everything, more dancing, more pyrotechnics, you know, whatever. They think this week they've had to bring it all, but next week they're going to have to come out with even more.
Oh, so good. Thank you so much for coming out. By the way,
Thank you.
Shoe Alert. Did you
Shoe
check out?
Alert.
Yeah, look at those. Thank you very much to Yvie. We'll be meeting Yvie's colleague, Ali Tennant, tomorrow to talk through the remaining semi-finalists. Yvie Burnett, everybody. Thank you. That's it for